Beyond the daily impact on merchants in Singapore, how would the broader outlook for businesses be? And for that, we're joined by Kok Pin Soon, who is CEO of Singapore Business Federation. Pin Soon, good to have you with us.
Thank you.
So first of all, how can we boost tourism in places like Woodlands or even Jurong? There's been some concern there. Are their current investments or efforts enough?
Well, I think that RTS gives us a very unique opportunity to position Woodlands really as the northern gateway for Singapore. I strongly believe that Woodlands North has the opportunity to become what Jewel is to Changi Airport for RTS. With Woodlands North, you have an opportunity for visitors not just to see RTS as a transit point, but to give them reasons to linger, through more unique dining options, through attractions, as well as through events. In fact, our study suggests that post-RTS, Johor consumers have indicated 34% of them have said that they would like to do more travel to Singapore for events, up from 24%. So the key now is really what we can do, not to focus just on the hardware, but the software, through events, through unique dining destinations, as well as through attractions.
So the study also spoke about a twin cities, one destination experience. Can you tell us more about this? Do we mean that local businesses should not see it as competing with Malaysian businesses, but rather kind of working together? How would that actually pan out?
Indeed. Well, the truth of the matter is that Singapore and Malaysia is already being bundled as a holiday destination for international travelers. RTS just make this more seamless. So imagine you can bundle a holiday destination for people and visitors who come to Singapore for events, to visit some of our attractions, more unique and premium F&B, and then go over to RTS, take RTS over to JB, which is just a 5 minutes link, for leisure as well as for maybe more lower price accommodation. Now, even for locals, a twinning experience is possible. Imagine a spa operator or a healthcare operator packaging products in Singapore and Malaysia. Because Singapore has a higher trust, I think consumers are more prepared to sign on these spa packages, and then they can go over to Malaysia for discount. The same thing can also happen to our retail and F&B. Are there possibility for you to have interoperable loyalty program where you dine in Singapore with a voucher to spend in Malaysia, and so on and so forth?
So earlier, Ping Soon, you talked about the software that could potentially grow and expand in Singapore. There have been talks about a uniquely Singapore product, but what can our heartland businesses sell that some consumers might say, I can't get cheaper for in JB?
Well, let's face it, we cannot compete with Johor based on price. So our differentiation must come from the experiences, come from quality, come from trust, and to a certain extent also come from convenience. And I think heartland products and heartland cuisines have the opportunity to do that. We can look for products that are uniquely Singapore, that are anchored on our heritage. You can get food anywhere, but you may not be able to get food that is Michelin-star hawker center. You can think about a heritage bakery that has long traditions. You can think about community events in many of our heartland cuisines, things that are ingrained into our social fabric that is not just a product off the shelf.
Well, besides sustainable rental and also better manpower allocation, how can local businesses adapt before RTS opens? We're also considering what you've just said, right? Banking on the heritage side of things, the soft part of it.
Well, I think businesses really should start adapting now rather than wait a year later when RTS open. I think there are 3 very practical ways that businesses can do today. 1, start differentiating. Find what is your unique products, find what are sort of experiences, and start to build that trusted relationship with your customers so that they will want your service. Number 2, they should really try to explore what they can do to partner with the Malaysian players to create unique destinations as interoperable products. And number 3, they should seriously look at what they can do to perhaps regionalize their business operation. Look at JB as a lower cost destination to look at how they can lower their costs, and look for opportunities to also capture some of the outbound spend from Singapore.
Now, among all the recommendations that were made, what do you think will make the biggest difference for local businesses?
Well, I think of all the 10 recommendations that we have, we think the set of recommendations that's about helping our businesses differentiate and adapt would be the most sustainable and impactful one. Yes, I think we certainly need certain measures to protect the turf, to stimulate local spending through consumption vouchers and so on and so forth. Yes, we need to help our businesses adapt to the current conditions, but what is most exciting to me are measures that we're recommending to boost tourism spending, including how can we have more mega events over here, how can we have a more decentralized events infrastructure? This is the way for us to grow the pie and not be worried about Singaporeans spending in JB, JB spending in Singapore, but growing the pie so that we can bring even more international visitors to a more integrated market.
Yeah, and speaking of that more positive outlook, what are some benefits you think RTS could bring to Singapore and its businesses?
I think with the RTS, it's going to make the seamless travel between the two. It's going to make visits between Singapore and JB more frequent, more habitual. It will allow a more complementary shift of factors of production, and generally it will reduce costs. There will be winners, there will be losers, but really, I think as a whole, Singapore will benefit from it.
Peng Soon, thank you so much for sharing your insights with us. That was Kok Peng Soon, who is CEO of the Singapore Business Federation.